Hello all, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll briefly see the ways of installing the Linux actually. So here I am not going to explain how the installation process and all, but I'm going to give you the links which are available of course in the net. So I am going to give the links and little information in each way what it will be doing. So that's what we'll be seeing in this particular video. Okay, so we'll start with Linux installation. Multiple ways of doing. Not only three ways, you have other as well, but we will see only these important ways of installing Linux. Particularly, we will see Ubuntu. So there are so many variants of Linux like Fedora, Red Hat Linux, so many CentOS and Debian. So many OS with Linux are available. So that Linux flavors. So we'll see for Ubuntu actually. See, this is mainly for Ubuntu. So here three ways of doing that. Here only the links I will provide only the links. I am not going to explain the procedure and all. So here VirtualBox. First thing is whatever the VirtualBox actually. So VirtualBox means you can have in your native Windows system, you can run the Linux actually. So that is one way. We'll discuss little more detail in the next slide. Dual boot means multiple operating system in a single computer. That is the dual boot. And then Windows subsystem for Linux. So this is another way. Of course, this is only limited for the Windows 10. So first we will see what is the VM what is the VM uh, VirtualBox or VMware. Not only Oracle VM VirtualBox, you have multiple softwares available, freewares, which you can do the virtual machine actually. Okay, so now I prefer better 18.04 LTS you can install. So this particular Linux, if you want to install this, you can go to the Ubuntu site and then the ISO image .iso, the file extension will be, of course, that one will be available in the links what I provide. So .iso extension 18.04 LTS you need to download. Of course, 20 is the latest, but this is better for all our need actually. So most of our need, it will be enough. So now we'll see what you mean by VirtualBox. So let us assume I have a Windows and I want to run a Linux parallelly actually. So then I will use the VirtualBox. So let us assume in this VirtualBox, I have sufficient memory and whatever the processor speed and all, and I want to run multiple operating systems, multiple Linux operating system in the same Windows. Yes, you can do. So in the same VirtualBox, you can do Ubuntu, CentOS, Red Hat, Fedora, all at once actually. So like it is like you are opening a Word document and minimizing like any other document actually. Like that, you will be opening the Ubuntu and you can use it, you can minimize, and you can have another window for CentOS, another for Red Hat, like that actually. So you can install any number of operating system provided your disk space and processor speed supports that, so that you can do. Okay, so here you have the details in the Oracle VM box is better. So if you have VMware, it will ask some license key and all. If you have that, you can use that. Otherwise, this Oracle VM virtual box will be fine actually. It will not ask any whatever the things like whatever the passcode or something. It will not ask anything. You can directly download and you can use. Latest one you can use. And this is the information you can search in this website itsfosfirst.com. So in the virtual box you can installing this. Check this link, it will give more details actually. And of course this is the YouTube channel which will provide the more details in the installation of the virtual box actually. And second one, dual boot. So dual boot means what? Two operating systems. Not only two, you can have multiple operating systems actually, but one at a time. So not like in VirtualBox. In the VirtualBox will run in Windows. Assume that in Windows you are running VirtualBox. In the VirtualBox again you can run any number of Linuxes actually. So this is both at the same time. That is the VirtualBox. But here it is one at a time. So let us assume I want Windows, I want Linux. Yes, you can have, but one at a time. So at the time of booting, GNU grub actually gratified Unix bootloader, the bootloader will ask you which one you want. So if you are not chosen that one, default it will take Ubuntu in this case. But if you want to change option to Windows 10, you have ways to change that one. Okay, we are not going to discuss that. So I'm just providing the links for the installation. So here you can change that particular one. And here you are telling both Linuxes are in the same system. but you can use only one at a time. Okay, so but what is the disadvantage with this virtual box actually? So virtual box, like not much disadvantage, but if you want to transfer data between native Windows system and then with virtual box, you need to do certain things actually. Then only you can transfer. And what are the disadvantages? Means you are running Linux as a application actually, so it may be little slow when compared to the native Linux operating system. So if you have operating system native Linux, it will be very fast. But if you have VirtualBox, you can feel the difference actually. So that is the one difference. And then dual boot means one at a time. So both will be different operating system. Of course, if you are in Ubuntu, you can access the Windows. But if you are in Windows, you cannot access Ubuntu or Linux. But if you are in Ubuntu, you can still access this particular Windows disk drive. You can access, like you can need to check the mount point. If you say df-h, you will get the information on that mount point, and then whatever the device name and mount point, then you can know that particular disk. Like that, you can able to access Windows from Ubuntu. So that is another advantage you will get if you have the dual boot. But limitation is you cannot use Windows in the Ubuntu. So you need to use only the Ubuntu operating system. But if you want to use Windows, you cannot do that one in the dual boot. Okay, so that is the limitation. So this, watch these particular videos, whatever I have given, this you can do the to install Linux in the dual boot. So if you are installing Linux in the dual boot, let us assume in the Windows 10 may not be needed. Why? Because we will see actually that is like WSL you can do Windows. Yeah, we'll see that one. So this is how we will be doing installing Linux in the dual boot. So the next thing is either of the, like, no, this is the information you have here, how you can do this. Provides you the information, this link provides you information installing in VirtualBox or using dual boot. So first preference should be if you are like, okay, so if you are having a Windows 10, your first preference should be WSL for our need. So I'm not telling for general purpose. I'm telling for our need of learning Linux, basic shell scripting, C, Python and all. If you want, this will be enough if you are using the Windows 10 actually. But the best preferable way is dual boot, but it may not be all time it is possible, because if you install dual boot, be cautious. Sometimes if you are doing wrong, it may destroy your C drive also. Means if you are like not cautious or doing something without knowing, then it may damage the disk. So very rare cases it may damage, but you should be aware of that. So first preference is if you have Windows 10, you use the Windows this particular one, Windows subsystem for Linux. This is simple. You have something like shell and you can execute actually. So this I can show you. This is what I have for the whatever the virtual. Okay, so I can close one. So this is whatever you have this particular Linux screen from the Windows. So I am using this one in the whatever the Windows 10 I have. So whatever I am showing is the Windows 10. So this is the way how you will install. This is the link how you will install the Windows subsystem for Linux actually. But you have the terminal only. But if you want to have look and feel of Ubuntu operating system, you no need to do this. You can do either VirtualBox or dual boot. So this is information about the installation, and these are the important ways, multiple ways how you will install, like ways get started Linux. So multiple ways. Not only this, you can have QEMU and other ways of doing that, like JScript. You can run the Linux and all, some kind of other ways how you can install the Linux and do actually. Okay, so this it will give you more information on that. So to summarize the installations, so first if you are Windows 10, for our needs only I'm talking, I'm not talking about the general thing. So for our need to execute C program or Linux basics or shell scripting or Python or data structures, C++, that one I'm only talking about that one, but not the drivers and all that particular one. So if you have drivers and if you want to do more experiments with boards and all, the best preference is the dual boot. So have in two partitions, one Linux, one Windows, and you can do your experiments. But this basic programming language if you want to learn, and if you are Windows 10, you go with this first preference, and then the second preference is VirtualBox actually. So that is the thing. And this the best one is dual boot, but it will take a lot of time to do all this installation and all, and you have the risk of damaging the original C drive. So make a backups and then try to do. So that is the best thing. And VirtualBox, no need to do any backups. It will not damage your disk. You need to select the proper thing, make one disk, whatever the empty space, and choose the disk, and then you can install. So this is the ways how you will install. So let me show you in the YouTube. If you want more links, you just go to the YouTube and then just say installing Ubuntu or dual boot, whatever. So the same thing I have put like no in my website also. The same thing I am using. So 20, if you want to 20.04 version, if you want, you can do this. So I think I've taken this is for the Windows whatever WSL. So Windows subsystem. Linux has a subsystem in the Windows actually. So that's what we did. That's what I put the link, the same link. Actually, dual boot 18.04 and Windows 10. If you want, you can do. Of course, in Windows 10, you have the shell. So this is only the shell, okay, terminal. But you don't have the complete feel of GUI of Ubuntu. But if you want GUI of Ubuntu, you can do this one. Dual boot 18.04 and Windows 10. And you need to remember the limitation. You need to run parallelly. Means not both at the same time. It will be one at a time actually. Okay, that is the thing. And VirtualBox, of course, VirtualBox we have seen that way. And of course, Ubuntu, if you want to dual boot also, you can check. Dual boot Windows 7 you have, you can check on the links which you can do for the dual boot Windows 7 or 8. So you can check this dual boot, and then you can also see whatever the dual boot with Windows 10. That's what we have seen actually. So there are multiple ways you can explore. Don't go to the 14.04, 16.04 versions. As of now, 18.04 is better. And whenever you install, it is best to install LTS version. LTS means long time support actually. Means that will be there still a couple of years more. Okay. But if you don't have LTS support, a long time support, if you don't have, there is no guarantee that will be any bugs. They may not, it may not get fixed. We don't know actually. So better you use the LTS, long time support. I hope you got the enough information from this, and I hope this video is helpful. So these are the three ways of doing. And first one, if you are having, just to summarize once again, if you are having Windows 10, go with this Windows subsystem. And then otherwise you go with VirtualBox. And if you are very much interested in Linux, Ubuntu, and you want to explore more and learn more and all, you can go to the dual boot, but it will consume a lot of time. You sometimes, if it is not works, you may need to spend 2-3 days also. But here this Windows subsystem hardly half an hour to 1 hour. This VirtualBox 1 to 2 hours, because you need to download the ISO image. That is the big thing here. That is the major thing here. Windows subsystem is you are just selecting an option actually. So you will be going to the installation thing. It is already there. You will select that option and then install. So that is the simple one. So half an hour you can do it. And I am telling the maximum time. It will be done in 10 minutes if everything is done. VirtualBox, it will take maybe hour or 2 hours like that. And then this may take ideally 4-5 hours, or if you everything you know like that. Otherwise, it may take more time. Okay, so this is how you will be installing the Linux or Ubuntu, mainly Ubuntu only. Okay, then thanks for watching the video, and have installation properly. And if you have any errors, you can check on that errors. Okay, then see you in the next video. Bye for now.